See, I think human beings in general are much more alike than they're different.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you see this most quickly in children.
I think that our country doesn't even understand the Middle East whatsoever. Let me ask you a question. There was an article in the paper not too long ago about trends in church going, and it broke it down by the age groups.
Mm-hmm.
And it said if you're over 80 or 70 or whatever, you know, this percentage of the population goes to church.
Mm-hmm.
And as it came on down, I think we're down to 50% or something, 40s or something like that. I don't remember, but as you kept going down, almost nobody was going to church. The younger, in their 30s and their 20s and stuff. I mean, in Europe, from what I've heard, people really don't go to church anymore.
Yeah.
There's all these big old empty buildings.
Yeah.
Now, the trend in America is going that way too right now for a lot of, especially the main denominations. Although these fundamentalist, local Pentecostal kind of things are actually increasing in membership. So why do you think that is, and where do you think that's going?
Well, it is too. Statistically, I think church attendance is going up, but not in the mainline churches. Mainline churches, including ours, have lost up to 40% since the 1960s of our membership. And the Assembly of God types and Pentecostal churches have blossomed. Why? I think it's a simpler it's a simpler interpretation of the Christian faith. I almost call it simple-minded. I mean, all you have to do is believe, be good, and apparently not worry much about the issues going on in the world. I think the reason the mainline churches lost membership is not only because the division on the Vietnam War issue, which cost us a lot, and the fact that if you're going to really understand the complexity of the social issues that confront us, you've really got to do some thinking and some research, and that's work. And unless you do some thinking and some research, you're not going to understand some of the points the pastor is trying to make. So it excites you because you disagree, or it confuses you. So for one or more of those reasons, you leave that church and go to a church that articulates a gospel that is so simple to understand. It doesn't even try to deal with the complexities of the issues of poverty, the issue of environment, the issue of healthcare. It doesn't even try.
That's interesting. So you think it is more of a kind of a response to theological things?
Yeah, I think responsible theology is complicated. Responsible theology turns you to a whole host of social issues that are difficult to understand because they're so complex. And at this point I say, don't try to understand all the issues. Pick one that really interests you and become a specialist in that. Let other people worry about that. But if you're trying to deal with all of them, after a while you're just going to give up. And a lot of people have given up. They either say it's insoluble, or they come to the stupid idea, Democrats aren't going to save us, Republicans aren't going to save us, fundamentalists are going to save us.
In some ways, that takes less energy, not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But in some ways, it takes more energy to kind of like hate various groups of people, or or a milder word, I'm turning that. But it takes me less energy to be open to those various groups.
And part of that is that you don't hold yourself responsible for knowing the truth about everything. What I was saying in my last sermon up here, the importance of saying, I don't know. Let's acknowledge a lot of things we don't know. And that's why I want to be in touch with people who think differently from me. The kind of dialogue we need is the dialogue between Assembly of God and First Methodist Church. I can't bring that about. I tried it. Because I'll learn from people who don't think exactly as I do, more than I learn from people who think just as I do. And a waste of time sharing thoughts with people that have the same thoughts, and we just toss them back at each other. That doesn't accomplish much. Dialogue is a skill sadly lacking today.
Yeah.
And we're into debate. George W. Bush loves debate. It's my way or no way. You know, there's only one way.
I don't even know if it's debate.
Well,
I
it
think
isn't.
it's.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't really, isn't it?
There's dialogue, there's debate, and then there's no discussion whatsoever.
Well, there has been a sort of approach, but.
That's right.
That
So-
scares the dickens out of me.
So what do you see the role of churches today, in today's society?
I think the
Because apparently, like when you talk about Europe, I mean, you know, where people aren't even going, it really has almost no role. I mean, have the churches somehow made themselves?
I think our churches are still playing a role, and even though the liberal church is becoming a minority, it's still a powerful minority.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have the highest regard for Quakers. I consider Quakerism graduate Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
If I had what it took, I'd be a Quaker, although there's a lot that I miss in Quakerism. But that's never been more than a minority, a small minority. But my goodness, the things they've done. And I think liberal Christians are doing a lot, even though they're in a minority. And I see things, I keep discovering things. My son put me in touch with a magazine called Zion's Herald, a Methodist publication out of New England. It's the best Methodist publication I've ever seen. Gosh, it's just great. And I didn't even know it was going on. There's just all kinds of good things in church and out church that constitute a network that I think is growing. And my hope lies partly in that and partly in the fact that even formerly stupid Americans are beginning to catch on.
Do you think some things just trend back and forth?
Oh, yeah.
And where do you think we're headed now? I mean, our country, the National Methodist Church in St. Paul's in particular. Where do you think we're going to go next?
Well, I think this pendulum action has gone on between liberal and conservative Christianity, for example. It's gone on between progressive and regressive politics. I think the pendulum is strong in the direction of conservative politics right now and conservative religion. It's not going to stay there. It's going to swing back. And we may have to suffer a lot more before we catch on. The thing that made FDR's social programs possible is that as a result of depression, everybody was hurting. Even wealthy people were hurting. See, that's not true in this country yet. We've got a lot of people that aren't hurting a bit. Certainly George's clan, the very wealthy large corporations, they aren't hurting a bit. And he's doing everything he can to make sure they hurt less. Most of the tax cuts go to the wealthy. Most of the tax breaks go to large corporations. And he fends it off as saying, what's better for those on top is better for us all. The old trickle-down theory. I don't know how much history you have to live to demonstrate that as a lie, but I think an increasing number of people are recognizing that as a damn lie. And we'll see the difference in the next election. And we'll see some differences in the activities of churches. And I'm not as concerned about the fact that the Methodist Church is no longer the largest Protestant denomination as I am concerned for theologically intelligent and liberally educated forces will move us in a direction that is closer to the kind of direction that the kingdom of God is about. I don't identify the Democratic Party with the kingdom of God, but I think there are differences between the kinds of activities that move us toward or away from the kingdom.
And don't you think, I mean, because, you know, even when you look at like original sin or whatever, I mean, I heard a guy talking about, and he was talking about a lot of this real difference is there's a lot of people that really think that we're fundamentally evil and we can't be trusted. I mean, they don't even trust themselves. I mean, because they're thinking, you know, I have evil thoughts that control me, you know, and if there isn't something that controls me, I will do evil. And I think everybody else is just like me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas not, you know, it's as if, so it's really hard for them to make a space for people that are, you know, pretty much, you know, the other half of the population, or whatever percentage it is anyway, that aren't walking around, you know, being all fearful that they're gonna lose control of themselves. And
That's a cop-out, of course. I mean, anything that wants to blame everything on we're naturally evil, it's like saying the devil made me do it. Oh, Lord. You can't divest yourself of responsibility and put it all out there. This is the way Bush operates. The evil of the world is due to them. Man alive. So the Christian style involves dialogue, which begins with listening. And this is something we don't do well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot we could do. Still open to us.
so we should probably adjourn for
Yeah,
tonight.
since it's late, I think we better, everybody, don't want to keep you up forever, and we can come back again. And just as a final thing, do tell me what you think about St. Paul's, where we're at right now in our history with this new church and where we're going to go.
I think we're at a very exciting point right now. I think the whole development of the new church building moving to is going to be a big plus for us. I was personally a little dismayed that the opening activity had to be such a money-making activity.
On September 11th?
No, when board comes.
Oh.
I mean, we're selling tickets for multi-bucks to get people to come, and, well, that's legitimate. I wish we hadn't associated that with the opening of the building, but anyway, we're going to go okay with it. But,
You're going anyway, huh?
Yeah. Buying tickets anyway.
Well, it's not the opening, but it's definitely one of the kickoff activity events of the
that's
church.
good. And I wish it had been financially possible for us to arrange boards coming as a gift rather than as something you buy into.
Oh.
But that just, I guess, wasn't possible. So we're doing the best we can. But that's okay. Yeah, no, I think this church building and going into the church is going to be a big lift. There's going to be some problem. I still wish that they had announced the 10:30 service as an initial move, leaving open the possibility of reinstating an 8:30
I guess that'd be a
service.
better way to say it. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
because we're going to lose some 8:30 people. And that'll be too bad, but we'll get past it.
Yeah, where will they go? Up to the cathedral?
Probably go to Covenant.
No, they don't have they only have one service too. They can't
Oh, is
go,
that right?
they can't get, no, there's no other Methodist church they can go to any earlier.
Oh,
It's either 10 or 10:30 is about it at this point.
Mm.
good
So,
question.
Yeah, it probably would be better to say we'll start with this
But,
and then
yeah.
we'll see when the next time's going to be for the next one, which is what will happen, I'm sure. But
I mean, that is it, they just didn't say it.
yeah.
Well, when we had that council meeting, and a couple of us articulated this point of view,
Uh-huh.
I thought that's what they were going to do, but they finally didn't say
They
they
didn't.
Anyway, I'm curious, just personally, to know how this arrangement for Mary Ann to get this fellowship in exchange for a promise to be here 3 more years, how that fits with the Methodist appointed system. Has the bishop agreed to reappoint a pastor for 3 years? That's unheard of. I just wonder how that happened. It's all right.
That doesn't usually happen in the Methodist church. Huh?
No, it's year by year.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
really
I'm
gives,
a little
it really
different
gives,
from-
the Pastor Parish Relations Committee has been taken out of the loop entirely. They got nothing to say. about who
The
our
staff
pastor is.
parish relations?
Yeah.
committee? Oh.
Because they're the ones that come up with a recommendation of returning or changing the pastor. I don't think we're in the market to change pastors, but I was just curious about
What that's all
that.
about.
Yeah.
If
Anyway,
they call Bob Yonner and ask him. Isn't he the head of
He's
staff
the head of
parish?
SPR, I think.
Yeah.
But you're saying
Was it?
he might not know, right? Bob Yonner?
yeah, I don't know whether I don't know whether they were even consulted on this.
Well,
They must have been. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll ask.
that says Bob.
So you'll be there on September 11th singing in the choir?
Oh, yes, I got Dave's letter today outlining the rehearsal schedule. We got several rehearsals.
This Sunday,
Yeah.
and guess what? Our band is going to play with you for the first time ever on
Oh,
this
good.
Sunday.
That's great. That's great.
This Sunday? This Sunday.
The Jazz Sunday, the Jazz service.
Well, I mean, we're practicing this Sunday. Our band is going to do 2 songs with the choir on September 11th. So we got to practice.
Good. I'm
So
excited
there's
about
no
that.
music really for you guys. See, we do it with chord charts and stuff. So you guys have to just make up your
Hum
own
along,
parts.
make their own words up?
Yeah. So it'll be, you're venturing out of new territory.
Oh,
here,
yeah.
so.
It's great.
So you got a big bass voice in that choir, don't you?
Oh, yes. I use it. You know, I was taking voice lessons with
Faye, that's great. How low can you sing? And then we'll close it off. Then we'll shut it down.
I can even sing lower than Dave Bunis, Faye tells me.
Can you? Take
Yes.
it on down for us right now.
Take it on down to there. And there.
Wow.
That's quality down there. Yeah, low I can sing. It just bothers me in the choir so much of the bass music is really high baritone music.
Oh.
And I've got to fake a lot of that. I mouth a lot of words.
You got a bass voice, don't you?
Oh, yes. I
Even
got a
for
bass
speaking, huh?
voice. Oh, yeah.
I have a little girly voice.
I
I don't
like
like
it.
it. I don't like it.
My voice is the only thing about me that works like it used to.
Well, that's
Good
good.
to have something. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye.
Okay.
Oopsie. Okay, bye to Bob.
Bye, thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, our pleasure. Right, Les?
Adioski.
I'm gonna have you just film me really quickly. Even though
All
I
right.
like terrible. Hi.
Just a minute, Jill.
Okay.
Oh, we got a curve from the ceiling. There we go,
We
yeah.
have fun in these interviews,
That's
don't we?
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. See you. You can hit that little red button.